Hello and welcome. Welcome in the management at CenturyPly now. Sanjay Agarwal is now joining us, Managing Director at CenturyPly. So firstly, hope all well at the company and, of course, this Corona war that everybody is fighting. You and your family at CenturyPly are all pretty good at this time.
Thank you. Thank you, Pankaj. Actually, yes, everything is fine, but out of our team, very few have got affected. We are trying to take care as possible, but really, I tell you, this time it is out of hand. There is no hospital bed, there is no doctor. I don't know how it will be, but yes, we are trying our best, of course.
Right. Of course, in this situation, there has been one news flow about the MDA imports and how anti-dumping duty has come in on MDF. Can you tell us more about that? And then we'll talk about the supply-demand situation, considering that, you are seeing so-called mini lockdowns across various parts.
Yeah. Yes, Pankaj. So, the duty has not been imposed till now. Actually, DGTR, the Director General of Trade Remedies under the Ministry of Commerce. So we had requested them exactly 1 year back in April 20. We and our association, other members have them that this should be looked into. And since then, they have been writing to all the manufacturers across the world, all the importers, all the domestic manufacturers. So from them, the replies have come, and now they have tabulated them. They have inferred. They have had even verbal discussions with all of them. So this is known as anti-dumping duty. And right now, what they have published is a final, study or final inferences they have actually, final findings. That is what they say. So this has been published on, I think, 20th of April actually. So the minimum landing they have fixed is $258 per cubic meter of thin MDF, means an MDF which is lesser than 6 mm. And if it now imports at a price less than 258, then the difference will be imposed as duty. But actually, the proposal now will go to the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Finance has to take the final decision. So I think it will take another maybe few days to weeks or maybe a month. And in this situation, maybe more than that actually, to get a final decision. But yes, we have got, after a lot of hard work and lot of time spent with them, lot of massive data, we have got this final finding which is favorable. Yes. And I think I need to tell you that, India has got a problem because these projects of MDF are very, very capital intensive. And practically the ratio of capital investment to the revenue is around 1 or 1.2 is the maximum output it has. So the interest cost in India becoming high or is higher than our competition nations. And the other problem in India is the land. So the land in India is actually owned by farmers, and the government has not really taken very big efforts in plantation of wood. And in other countries, our competition countries, they have so much of wood planted on government land that they practically give to these people at a fair price of a firewood. Like Correct. In a country like China or in a country like Thailand, they give it at a price of firewood. So that's how, this kind of a duties are required when an industry starts in a country. Yes, Mobina.
We get your point, Mr. Agarwal. We get your point. I understand that, in the country, yes. Hi, Mr. Agarwal. And yeah, I completely understand. Country like India, setting up an MDF plant could be quite capital intensive and, has its own challenges compared to maybe, other Asian countries. I wanted to understand that currently in the MDF market, how much comprises imports and how much are, domestic players like you, and also that price that you mentioned, the $258, is that sufficient enough to be able to bridge that gap and eliminate any price differences between domestic MDF and imported MDF?
Tell you the present means for last a month or two, of course, the equation is very different because of the shipping situations or because of all the corona situation, the whole market conditions and the shipping situations are totally different. But say before January, if we really talk about before January, so you can say that about 25% of the Indian consumption was being imported. The total industry size in India is around maybe 2,800 crore to 3,000 crore. And the imports are at about 500 crore, which will be sold at say about after the local things and transportations and the profits and all that, it will be sold say around at 600 crores. So it's about 20-25% of the total industry was coming from outside. And that actually for an industry in India, in India, if a 5% excess manufacturing will bring down the prices drastically and the 5% manufacturing will actually push up the prices drastically. That is how Indian markets work actually. So this was an absolute necessity for industry which is in nascent stage in India till now. 258, yes, because the MDF was imported in India at even $190 CIF Indian ports. So yes, 258 will take care of it.
Okay, well, Mr. Agarwal, we have loved to take this conversation forward, but I'm afraid we're a little short in time. So we'll let you go on that note. Thank you so much for joining us and discussing this important news piece with us. Of course, it's not yet imposed. It will still go over to the other ministries, the Ministry of Finance. So it will still take a little time before this ADD is implemented. And for now, we'll take a very short break, but we'll be back with lots more big news stories of the day. Stay tuned.